Hello, my name is Muazzez Riordan. I am the project manager for the proposed resurfacing and related work on Route 9 project. I work in the project management section at the Massachusetts Department of Transportation's Highway Division headquarters in Boston. During this presentation, we will discuss the existing issues in the project area and explain the proposed design. The purpose of this meeting is to inform the public of the project and solicit feedback. The notice of the design public hearing appeared in the Telegram and Gazette on December 22nd, 2022 and December 29th, 2022, and the Stonebridge Press on December 23rd, 2022 and December 30th, 2022. A copy of this notice will be attached in the final hearing transcript. The hearing was advertised on MassDOT's social media. Notice and flyer also posted on MassDOT website on December 12th, 2022. A handout has been prepared and posted to the MassDOT website along with this presentation. You will find documentation which may be useful to you in understanding the project and submitting formal comments in response to this presentation. The QR code shown in this slide to be directed to the MassDOT website. Please feel free to scan it. We are currently at the 25% design stage for the resurfacing and related work on Route 9 project, which means that the plans are still being developed and we welcome your feedback. Estimated total project cost is about $10 million, which will come from federal aid funding with Federal Highway Administration funding 80% of the total construction cost. MassDOT funds the remaining 20%. This project must be programmed in the statewide transportation improvement program in the appropriate federal fiscal year in order for MassDOT to solicit bids for eventual construction. The total estimated cost of the project does not include any right-of-way acquisition costs. The design is expected to be completed in the summer of 2024. Construction is expected to be completed within 24 months after the notice to proceed. The project we will be presenting today is the resurfacing and related work on Route 9 project. This slide provides an overview of the topics that will be discussed during this presentation. As you may be aware, the reason for the project is improve existing roadway condition, reduce traffic congestion, complete missing links for pedestrian and bicycles, improve safety for all users, improve pavement markings and signage, improve existing pavement conditions, and improve stormwater collection and treatment. Please keep in mind that the project we are presenting is still in the design stage. The plans are still being developed and we welcome your feedback. All your questions and comments will be taken into consideration as the project's design advances. Here we see the limits of the project. The project includes reconstruction of approximately 1 mile of Route 9 from just east of the Route 49 intersection to just west of the Water Street and Summer Street intersection. The project was initiated in March of 2017 and approved by the MassDOT Project Review Committee within a month. The consultant completed an alternatives analysis in October of 2020. 25% design was submitted to MassDOT in August of 2021. Revised 25% design submitted to MassDOT in April of 2022, which brings us to the design public hearing tonight. Now, Dimitrios Makos, District 3, will explain why was this project initiated.
Thank you, Moises. Why was this project initiated? This project was initiated to improve and upgrade multiple existing deficiencies identified throughout the project corridor. Here, we have a list of the existing conditions and deficiencies that exist on this section of Route 9 that I will be talking about. The roadway pavement is in poor condition with large cracks in many areas. There is a lack of Americans with Disabilities Act or ADA compliant pedestrian facilities. Sections of the corridor, such as in front of the Spencer Fair Shopping Plaza, do not have a sidewalk. The existing pedestrian ramps do not meet ADA standards. There's also a lack of bicycle accommodations, specifically in the area of the Spencer Fair Shopping Plaza. Pavement markings are faded and signal equipment is outdated. Bridge inspection has shown that structural repairs are needed on the 7 Mile River Bridge. In the picture on the left, we have an example of the large, deep cracks within the roadway which exists throughout the project corridor. The picture on the right shows the existing traffic signals at the intersection of Meadow Road and Route 9 that need updating. The traffic signal backplates have broken apart. Here, the picture on the left is an example of a pedestrian ramp at the Route 9 and South Spencer Road intersection, which does not meet ADA accessibility standards. The picture on the right shows the lack of bicycle facilities in front of the Spencer Fair Shopping Plaza. Now, Moises Riordan will continue with the presentation.
Thank you, Dimitrios. Next, we will discuss what we want to accomplish and the goals of this project. The goals of this project are to enhance vehicle, pedestrian, and bicycle safety, mobility, connectivity, and operations, rehabilitate the pavement and curb upgrades, improve drainage and water quality, traffic signal improvements, pavement markings and signage upgrades, guardrail upgrades, upgrades to the 7 Mile River Bridge, and waterline upgrades. Next, we will discuss the different cross-sectional alternatives that were considered for this project. 3 cross-sectional alternatives were reviewed and considered for this project. Each alternative was reviewed in terms of, does it meet the project goals, right-of-way and environmental impacts, costs, safety benefits, and whether it meets current design standards. Alternative 1 is shown here, which contains a 10-foot wide shared use path on one side of the roadway, a 5-foot wide grass strip buffer area, 4-foot wide shoulders, and 2 11-foot travel lanes. Alternative 2 includes sidewalks on each side of the roadway, 5-foot wide bicycle lanes, and 2 11-foot travel lanes. Alternative 3 includes sidewalks on each side of the roadway, 5-foot wide bicycle lanes with 2-foot buffer, and 11-foot travel lanes. It should be noted that a 2-way left turn lane was also included in the review of each alternative for the section of Route 9 in front of the Spencer Fair Shopping Plaza. Next, we will discuss what the preferred alternative is. Upon review of each alternative, the preferred cross-section was alternative 3, which consists of 5.5-foot sidewalks on each side, 5-foot bicycle lanes with 2-foot buffers, majority of the corridor, and 11-foot travel lanes. It was determined this cross-section most effectively meet the goals of the project while limiting right-of-way impacts, environmental impacts, and costs. As shown on the bottom of this slide, the cross-section in front of the Spencer Fair Shopping Plaza contains a 2-way left turn lane as well. Please note, this is just a typical section, and there will be areas of constraints where this will differ slightly. Now we will review the proposed plans and improvements starting from the western project limits and moving eastbound. Due to the poor condition of the existing pavement, full depth pavement construction is proposed for a majority of the corridor. The existing vertical and horizontal roadway alignment is generally being maintained. New pavement markings and signage are proposed throughout the corridor. New catch basins and drainage manholes are proposed where necessary to improve existing drainage and water quality. Here we see the western limits of the project just east of the Route 49 intersection. In the westbound direction, the buffered bike lane will meet the existing 5-foot shoulder to provide connectivity to existing conditions. The second westbound travel lane is introduced and the sidewalk on the north side of Route 9 begins at Bemis Memorial Park. In the eastbound direction, the roadway is narrowed and the yield condition is introduced for vehicles turning right from Route 49. The existing water main along Route 9 will also be upgraded from the western project limits to the intersection of Route 9 at South Spencer Road. Here we see the proposed improvements at the 7 Mile River Bridge. Based upon bridge inspection, structural steel repairs are proposed at this bridge. The bridge rail and guardrail approaching the bridge will also be upgraded. Moving eastbound, we see the proposed improvements in front of the Spencer Fair Shopping Plaza. The two-way left turn lane is proposed to replace the second westbound travel lane to improve the traffic operations and connectivity to the existing businesses along this stretch of roadway. High visibility crosswalks and bike lane markings are proposed to improve safety for pedestrians and bicycles at high conflict crossing areas throughout the project limits. Here we have the intersection of Route 9 at Meadow Road and South Spencer Road. New signal equipment, including mast arms, accessible pedestrian push buttons, and signals are proposed. The proposed lane use, including turn lanes, remain the same as existing for optimal traffic operations. High visibility crosswalks are proposed across all 4 legs of the intersection. Bikes are accommodated through the intersection with 2-stage left turn bike boxes, a jog handle turnoff, and a share use path connection. High visibility bike crossing markings, as well as new vehicle and bicycle detection systems are proposed. A shared use path is proposed along the east side of Meadow Road and will provide connectivity to the adjacent shared use path proposed as part of MassDOT's Meadow Road project. Utility poles will be upgraded to taller poles at this intersection to eliminate conflicts between the mast arms and overhead wires. Here we see the intersection of Route 9 at Old Main Street. ADA compliant pedestrian ramps and high visibility crosswalks and bicycle crossing markings are being proposed. A crosswalk is proposed across Route 9 just east of the intersection to provide connectivity from the south side of Route 9 to Old Main Street. The existing guardrail will also be upgraded at this intersection. The emergency preemption signal for the Spencer Fire and Police departments will be upgraded as part of this project. Here we see the eastern project limits tying into existing conditions just west of the Route 9 at Water Street and Summer Street intersection. The bike buffers transition to meet the existing shoulders, which will provide continuity of the bike lanes. And this concludes my presentation on the proposed design plans. Now, I would like to turn the presentation over to Melissa O'Day, representing MassDOT's Right-of-Way Bureau, to discuss the right-of-way procedures.
Thank you, Moses. Good evening. My name is Melissa O'Day, and I represent the Right-of-Way Bureau of the Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division. The Right-of-Way Bureau is responsible for acquiring all the necessary rights in private and public lands for design, construction, and implementation of this project. Affected property owners will be contacted by personnel from the Right-of-Way Bureau or consultants representing the Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division. The procedures must comply with state and federal regulations governing the acquisition process. The current design plan indicates that fee takings and permanent easements may or will be required. Other areas will require temporary construction easements. Affected property owners' rights are protected under our Massachusetts general laws, primarily Chapter 79. If the project is receiving federal funds, The property's owner's rights are further defined under Title III of the Real Properties Act of 1970 as amended. I will be happy to answer any general questions regarding the right-of-way activities during the open forum questions, and I will be available after this public hearing for any specific questions that you may have.
Thank you, Melissa. How will bicyclists and pedestrians be impacted? As discussed previously, pedestrians and bicycles will be accommodated with the sidewalks and bike lanes on each side of the roadway for the majority of the project corridor. Environmental impacts. There are minimal environmental impacts at this time. As the project advances, any impacts identified will be reviewed by the appropriate agencies. The town and its residents will be notified and engaged throughout the permitting process. Next, we will discuss the proposed construction approach. During construction, the contractor will be required to maintain access to all businesses and residences at all times. Minor lane closures will be required and will take place during workday, non-peak hours to minimize inconvenience to the public. It is anticipated that 2 lanes of traffic will be maintained at most times during construction. At this time, no detours are anticipated. After this design public hearing, we will work on the environmental permits and 75% design and right-of-way submittal, which we anticipate to be submitted in the winter of 2023. Following that, the design will be finalized and right-of-way secured. The design is expected to be advertised and bid in late 2024. Your feedback is very important to the success of the project. In addition to this hearing, we encourage you to reach out to us with written comments. Emailing us at the address shown on the screen is preferred. We encourage you to do this within 10 business days of this presentation, so your comments can be included in the official hearing transcript and incorporated into the design where feasible. Please be sure to include the project number 608814 in the subject line of your email.